What up? It's your boy Doughboy.
CT is dope.
And this is another installment of
The Just Us League podcast.
Apparently it's
episode 40.
Is it? I wasn't
Yeah.
even saying that. I was just saying I was gonna
It's
do the whole
Just
Just Us thing.
Yeah.
40.
Yeah, episode 40, man.
Wow.
2 more, and we'll be old as you.
You're gonna just keep putting my government age out there. Wow, 40 is an achievement.
Yeah, it's a blessing, man.
We're almost halfway to that hundo.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Hey man, I think I'm about ready to 40 in.
Yeah.
Put it in the comments if y'all about ready to start seeing these bonus episodes. We might need to start bringing them in now.
I'm not mad at it.
Come on, man. This is just good times and good conversations. How you been, man?
Oh, man. Incredible, man. How was your week? Well, before you say it, let's say my week.
That doozy. But go ahead.
Of course, well, man, this would have aired. But shout out to the Patreon audience. Y'all get this immediately after we record.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow, I'm going to Oklahoma City with my guy Black Ryan.
New nickname alert, Oklahoma City.
Why do they call you Oklahoma City?
Because females always want me to go down south. I didn't even have one and I needed one. And I'll be going. I needed one. Good looks. Thanks, Playboy.
Hey, you can't beat that. So, and then this weekend is Friday, Dallas, Martin Lawrence. Saturday, Houston, Martin. Sunday, your boy CT, Chi-Town. That's going to be fire. And then right on back, I get a week rest, and then I go to Baltimore the following
You got
Wednesday.
3 shows.
Back to back.
You ready? No, back to back to back.
Back to back. Yeah, because it's 4.
Come on now. Yeah. You not ready for that?
I am. But you know, this week has been very relaxing, dude. It's been, I've really enjoyed myself. We got a chance to celebrate Aida Rodriguez.
Yes, her special came out, right?
Yeah, HBO Max, dude. Which
it's up now?
It's up.
Okay, because I know that there was a premiere. I don't know if was that like an invite only thing. I seen a bunch of people posting their thing. So
yeah,
I didn't get that invite. I didn't get that invite, but it's cool.
It's kind of awkward. Anyway,
yeah, it's all good.
You know what? It was
gotta be awkward.
Whenever
you got invited, I'm
yes,
pretty sure.
Whenever one person gets invited,
that's cool.
Another person doesn't. It's like, well, our relationship is different as well.
Right?
Like, man, she has changed my life. Every movie she had done, she wrote and produced, and she put me in it, man. When I was homeless, she let me stay on her couch, and that's major for any parent off top because she got 2 kids. You know what I mean? And it was like, you know, they're just family to me, man. So to see her get this, let me rephrase that. To see her work have earned this opportunity in this spotlight was crazy. And, you know, she's Puerto Rican and Dominican.
Right.
So her audience is also us because, like, black people, we had her first. You know what I mean? And then it's like being able to see her Latin community get behind her is crazy. HBO rolled out the red carpet for her.
That's fire.
She did her special and a documentary.
That's fire. And, you know, as stand-up comedians, that's always, I mean, I know, you know, Netflix has come on the scene the last 5 to 6 years, but every comedian's dream has been to get an HBO special.
Man.
HBO special, like, you know, all the not no shots in any other spaces, but HBO special. So for her to get that has to be huge dream recognized for her. Couldn't see it happen to a better person. Always been super solid, but the props that I want to give Ida is not just that she's supremely talented, hecka funny, all those good. We know all those good things. I'll give her all of that. She's all those things, right? But one thing I love about her is I never seen her take no shortcuts to the grind.
No.
Like, when I first moved out here in 2009, like I just remember very early on seeing her grinding, building her stuff up, like, you know, no like quick move, like, so, you know what I'm saying? I literally watched her for the last 10 years. And like you said, she got children and stuff. So for her to build that and then to get that, man, I'm so happy for her. Man, I be getting excited for people when they win, like it's me. Like, hey, like
that's what shows that you'll always have goodwill because it's like you're able to celebrate people.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people aren't able to celebrate people, and it's unfortunate. But yo, like when I tell you, because HBO for comedians is massive, especially for me, like looking at HBO. If it wasn't for HBO, I wouldn't have saw Def Comedy Jam hosted by Martin. Who knows if I'd have gotten a spark to want to be a comedian.
That's the same thing for me. I remember because like I always talk about the fact that me and my pop's tumultuous relationship, but like that was where we would bond Friday nights. Like that would be the only time I would see him laugh. It's Friday nights when he would watch Def Comedy Jam. So that made me want to be a comedian. Like I can make this guy laugh.
Let me tell you how hard of a work week it had to be. Poor brother to only laugh.
That's the only time I would ever see him laugh. He's a serious dude. And then he would just sit down and just That's what I was
how
going to
he
do.
used
That's
to
how
laugh?
I was like, I'll make this guy laugh.
Shaking his shit. And then he still didn't even let it out loud.
No, never like no knee step. I'd rather do that, though. Some people.
Wait a minute.
You evil villain. Father man.
Father man? I'm never happy. I got to pay bills and take care of children. I got to provide. I got to put food on the table.
Father man.
What's your weakness, father man? Asking for stuff.
Father's Day gifts. I never get them. They always make me stuff. They never spend money. It's about kryptonite. So HBO
Father,
is
man.
big. HBO is huge, man. So shout out to her for that, man. That's just a really, really big.
Who's Father man's arch nemesis?
Oh, baby daddy.
Oh,
Baby daddy man.
baby daddy man just get to have his kids and go on about his life. Father man got to stay in the house and raise everybody.
Father man is really envious of baby daddy man because he want to be out there living his best life.
He's envious of baby daddy man,
Bro, this could low-key be a series that we start ourselves. It'd be Father man, you be baby
his
daddy. His
rogues
man.
gallery got to be crazy.
he be tricking his man cave out like the club.
It's the only place I get solace and away from my family.
Father man.
Father man,
Don't
bro.
y'all be stealing our ideas. This belongs to the Just Us League podcast and all other intellectual properties.
But him laughing like that and still not really laughing?
Never gave me none of those. I don't think my dad's ever told me I was funny.
Oh, don't
I've done some things. I'm like, you see all these other people in the world, that's why everybody else said. I'm like, maybe dad did it.
Yo, my dad would definitely watch my video. This is early on Instagram because I started IG in 2017 and my father died that December, right? Mm-hmm. So it was like he watched everything up to that point. And I remember I shot one video. At this point,
hilarious. That little laugh at you. Every artist has that about our stuff because every sketch is our baby. This little one.
No, because this one, I'm never laughing at my own stuff. But this particular instance, I was in Detroit because it was my Uncle JR's birthday. His birthday is 4th of July. Okay. So we're all there. My dad is there. He's running around. Stage 4 cancer. We're out getting people drinks. Stage 4. I'm like,
that's right.
All right.
He living it out, right?
He's infusing, and I don't drink. So I'm looking at everybody. He's infusing alcohol in pineapples. And I'm like, people eat this?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. So there's this
They call it vodka melon, like watermelon, vodka melon.
For pineapples?
No, but would they get a watermelon? You cut it open, you put the in vodka melon. I used to drink. It was a whole thing. I'm sober these days.
Gotcha.
Shout out to 11 months.
I heard about that. Sobriety is a friend of the podcast.
Nickname alert. No Brady.
Because I ain't going back to drinking.
I ain't going back to it.
I like it. So I'm there, and there's this woman that is a friend of my uncle's, right? It's like there's a couple, and the woman in the couple is thick.
Okay.
Right?
Got the thing.
Man.
You can see it like it was just yesterday? I'm good.
She was thicker than a brand new movie star's ego. How dare you not let me on the red carpet? Do you know who I am? I've starred in.
And they drink grape juice out of a goblet. That's grape juice. So why are you smelling it? Peasant.
So she was super thick. And I was like, hey, would you be interested in being in one of my videos? It's like, cool on IG and stuff. Mm-hmm. And she was like, sure. And I was like, bet. And I was like, are you comfortable? Because I asked every girl this. I was like, are you comfortable with me getting certain shots? She's like, I don't care. I ain't on Instagram. I was like, all right, bet. Mm-hmm. So I got a couple cake shots, which at the time I was only doing that for IG.
Mm-hmm. But it was working, huh?
It was. Yeah. But I didn't. I'll get to that in a second. Right. So I was doing that. And my dad comes up after the shot and he's like, just smiling like, I'm like, what you smiling at, man?
With the that's like, attaboy.
He was like, I seen you shoot your little video.
I see what you're doing.
And I'm like, man, hey, and we laughed, but it was like he would tell me how proud of me he was, but I made him laugh one time. He was laughing at me instead of laughing with me. Like I told him when I bought my scooter, right? Because I was like, just like that.
He just laughed over. I got a
He
scooter.
was like, you got a scooter? Because at the time, Tangerine had a Benz,
Right.
and my truck had got stuck. Like we told y'all on the show before, and I had the scooter, and he's like, hold on, let me get this straight. So your wife got a Benz, and you ride around on a scooter? He laughed so hard. He was literally crying on the other end of the phone.
You start giving benefits of the scooter. Well, I can fill it up for $6.
I kept saying it. I kept saying it. Let me tell you something, though, boy. I hijacked his laugh because once I knew he was laughing at me, I was like, this is the hardest I've ever made my dad laugh, and it's not even on purpose.
So you just had to fall into it some more?
I just started tagging it. He was like, I was like, I fill it up for $6. He started laughing harder. I was like, I got a nice helmet. And he started laughing. I was like, I can get around through traffic. And he was just laughing harder. And it was one of the greatest things. But
that's hilarious.
So that
you was just tagging it up in
I was just
real
super
time.
I had to, you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, you got it. This is the first time you see it. Pops laugh at your stuff.
So at my expense. So after that, on IG, it had become annoying to me because my trick was, let me get all of these sexy shots, and then they'll be watching and listening to my jokes and be like, oh man, I'd watch this, but I'm staying because this is so funny and so great.
Right.
And
you put the medicine in the food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I started doing that, and I started doing less of it because I didn't want my audience to only be following me. First of all, you don't want only a lot of dudes following you.
Yeah.
You want
attention
women
spans
supported. Exactly.
Right.
So I changed it up. But yeah, so tell me about
so
your
this week. It's been a doozy.
Okay.
This week, yeah. So this week was just rough. So that polling out that buy was kicking up. So it happens. But like, it's so cool now that I understand it. So it's just like I don't get weirded out. I'm just like, okay, this is happening. So I check my mood. I'm just like, all right, cool. For like 2 or 3 days during last week, I was just in the bed. I just kind of didn't really want to talk. But I'm starting to own it now. Like when I do it, I'd rather turn my phone off. I ain't got to call a bunch of people. I'm just like, I got this. So got through the week, and what I'm saying, and medicine really helps. So that's one thing, because I know I've always been on record for like, I don't know. So then once I kind of noticed, like, hey, though, you kind of, so it's just like, all right, what I'm saying, get some more sleep. Maybe
what was the moment where you knew you were ramping up?
Because I just be wanting to say stuff I know I shouldn't say.
Give me, is it bad if I say, give me an example? Or
no, I could give you an example. So it could just be like, what's some of the stuff that I'll just be like, I want to go out and smash 3 random chicks that I've never met.
Is that bipolar?
That's what, yeah. That's bipolar. It's like hyper sex. Like,
I'm like, I think I might have.
I know I got it. You probably can check out. So it's like just random stuff. And then like when the thoughts start coming and they don't mesh with everything else in my life, I'm just like, okay. And then they start coming more, and then like I start getting really emotional. So then like if I'm pushed in any way, emotion wise, like there was one day last week I just was crying, but I wasn't tripping because I'm just like, okay, I know that I'm just rap. So that to me is just eons ahead of the game. Like, okay, I'm learning how to work with this. I don't get all weirded out when it happens. I'm like, okay, cool, just stay still, pick up the other stuff, and because if you don't handle it when it happens, bro, stuff could go left, it can go bad. So had a good week, but I have to tell you the story that happened today.
Before you tell me today. So as you said that, first of all, a couple of thoughts. As soon as you said it, I was like, and I know all the men at home are like, whoa,
bro, so it's a thing.
Right?
Right.
But so you sent me the clip to post on IG. Keep this in mind.
Okay.
I've been able to post everything else except that.
The clip?
Yes. Not even in my stories.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. And I've tried different days. I've tried different times. I'll be like, let me not even trying to add a caption. Let me just post it. Wouldn't let me do it.
Really?
I promise you. The weirdest thing I've ever seen.
The irony of this. We need to look into that.
Man, I was like, okay, you know what? Let me post about me coming to Chicago.
And it'll work?
Work.
IG be doing something weird. I genuinely believe now that I'm shadow banned.
Wow.
Because like I don't know what I remember last year, like I remember I had a couple of tweets that was wild, but nothing that I would think would get me shadow banned. But like I'll post stuff and it'd be like, bro, because I got like about 160K, 160 with something, right? And it's like I'll put up a post, it get like 20 likes. I'm like, okay, come on, guys, like, and that's not even my ego mess with me. I just be like, I think I'm kind of bad. So I don't know. Instagram be doing some weird stuff. But today, let me tell you the story because it was
what happened today?
the wildest story. It was just Thought I wasn't going to be here today. Here we go.
Wow.
So let me tell you. So the story starts off today. So shout out to Precious first. Precious, one of my best friends in life.
Friend of the show.
Great friend of the podcast. So we working a lot closely on a lot of different stuff. So, we're celebrating some wins that we got on some stuff that we're doing. So like, hey, let's meet up. So I called her up like, yo, what you want today? She's like, I'm over here at this spot with my friend. We're having drinks, having some food. Come meet us. Already know. I'm pulling up. Pull up to the spot out in Northridge. Huh?
Because of the food.
Yeah, absolutely. Just go kick it too, because I wanted to just, go meet. I really was going to go meet with Precious, but she's at the spot, so I'm like,
you wasn't hungry?
Oh, I can eat.
Okay.
I could always eat. Right. So I go up there. She's with her friend. Her friend shall remain nameless. So we're up there chilling, just because I don't want to put her friend's business. So I meet her friend for the first time. So we're all sitting there chilling. So it's us three and then this other guy named White Mike. I'll get to him later. So White Mike's over there chilling. He's sauced up, drinking, buying everybody drinks, like making racial jokes, but like not towards any black people. So it's like he's White Mike. So everybody's chilling.
It's always fun, but it's not about us.
You know what I'm saying? So it's cool. So we chilling. Everybody's chilling. And so then the young lady, so as we're all chilling, so me and Precious celebrating, like, yeah, man, we da-da-da. And so then me and the girl talking, so we're just talking and we're just getting to know each other. And so she's like, yeah, a lot of times men are turned off by me because I'm an alpha female. Whenever women say this, I'm always wildly, just like how you did that face, I'm always like, because usually when I hear that, the woman's just very difficult to deal with. But it's just like, that's your clever, cool word to say it. So I'm just like,
and who told you
that you were an alpha female? So she was just like, so I'm like, really? So I always love it when so I'm like, engage me. What makes you an alpha female? She was like, well, just in real situations, men sometimes they cower in the face of adversity. A lot of times I got to tell a man, hey, I got this because, I've been in some situations, da 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 da. And so I'm just sitting there like, word, okay. But she's an entrepreneur. She's doing all these things. So everything lines up. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Can't wait to meet her girlfriend.
Okay, alpha female, cool, right? And so we're having a good time. So time's going by. Okay, so then boom. So I'm sitting next to her. Okay, she's here. Precious is here. White Mike's here. So White Mike is buying drinks for everybody, and now he's getting really comfortable. So now he kind of moves over next to Precious.
Okay.
So it looks as if I'm talking to this new woman, and so he's kind of giving me the look, like me and him as partners, like we got a two-piece. I'm like, White Mike, you wildin'. So, you know what I'm saying? So he's sitting there talking to Precious. He's looking at me talk to old girl. So then, boom. So Precious had went to the bathroom or something, and so she goes, and then she comes back, and so the seat was open by her, and so I was like, oh, because I'm gonna go talk to Precious. And so then he looks at me like, oh, I get it. He was like, you mind if I? And so then he goes over and starts talking to the girl that I was talking to, almost like we just did a switcheroo. I'm like, White Mike, you're wilding, you're tripping. So he's talking to her. So now he's a little talkative, he's drunk, and now the girls are kind of just
what age range is Mike?
Mike is 45, white guy, super successful. I don't know if he's super successful, but this is the type of money big White Mike had. He knew the wait staff and the bar staff there, right? And so we're at this place in Northridge. We're at a bar, right? And it's a bar, but it's a restaurant too. He knew them so well. He ordered them food from the Woodman barbecue spot for them to eat. So he's that type of dude. So that's what's going on. So then now he's talking to her, and I'm talking to Press. She was like, yeah, we finna get up out of here. He started to do a lot, so let's go. So I'm like, all right, cool. Now, mind you, me and old girl had that alpha female conversation for 25 minutes. So we went into the deeps and depths of why she feels like she is an alpha female and why men cower in her presence at times. All right, cool. So now we're talking. So I'm like, let's get out of here. So now Big Mike's getting to do a little much. And so I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go walk, Precious to her car. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm like, I was like, oh, come on. I almost said her name. I was like, come on, young lady. And then he was like, oh, no, I got it. I'll walk her to her car. And so then he's standing right here. And so her back is to him. And so she's looking at me like, don't leave. And so I'm like, so I look at him, I look at Precious. I'm like, nah, White Mike, I got it. And so he's like, oh, all right, man, cool. So then, all right, cool. So then we leave, we walk out of the building. I know that this is a long build-up, but trust me, it's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it. So then, now mind you, there's a couple things that I need to point out to make the end of this story make sense. So let me scale back a little bit. Like I said, this woman was like a complete boss. So even though she's this alpha female, she's naming off 6-7 lines of income. I do this to get money. I'm entrepreneur lady. So I'm always like, oh, okay, boom. So then I'm like, okay, cool. So I walk both of them out. I'm like, hey, shorty. She was like, well, I gotta go pee again. I said, okay, when you go pee, I'm gonna go walk I'm going to go walk Precious to her car. I'll come back. Then I'll walk you to your car. Then I'll get out of here. Cool. So then, boom, I walk Precious to her car. She's like, all right, cool. We hug, da. She's like, make sure she gets there. I'm like, all right, let's go. Walk her back. Now, this is where the story really starts. So we walk into her car. She has like a really nice car, like a Benz, like a really nice car. I'm like, oh, she really everything she said she was about. And so, but it's parked in the handicap spot. And so I'm like, why you parking the handicap spot? So then she like makes a joke. She's like, I got a little limp. She like makes a little joke. But then she's like, nah, I'm good though. So I'm like, all right, whatever. We go in the car, we park, we sit down. And so now, because I walk her to a car, she's like, oh, well, dude, before you leave, did you want to smoke? I was like, I can smoke. So cool. So then I get in the car. So now we're just chilling. So I'm just like, this is Precious' friend. It's all good. Let's smoke. Cool. So before we smoke, her windows are tinted. So we're looking out the window and there's a family there, right? And they're getting out of the car. I'm like, well, let's not smoke. And she's like, oh, my windows are tinted. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so then we start smoking. And so then we wait for them to leave. The family leaves, goes into the place. And so then as we're smoking, she opens up her sunroof just to kind of get some air. Guy comes back out, the guy that just got out of the car, and now he has his kid with him. But now he comes to come change his kid's diaper. But now we got the sunroof open. So then boom. He goes, he's changing his kid's diaper, and he kind of keeps looking back like, whatever. He does whatever he does, then he goes back in. Not 3 minutes later, police car comes. Woo! And so a police car comes and we see it hit the block. And we're like, no. And then she's like, no, ain't nothing. We're sitting there smoking. So the cop car passes by. So we're like, all right, cool, it's nothing. And then we're like, what is he gonna say? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're sitting here, it just, he smells weed. Weed is legal. Everybody's having a good time. White Mike, all the things. Everything is cool. Nigga, the cop comes back around. So mind you, we're talking now. Mind you, all the things that she had just been saying, like mind you, like now, even like as we're smoking, we're just talking, getting to know each other. Like yeah, and I'm like yeah, I don't, because obviously I didn't drink in the thing. I'm like I don't mess with alcohol. Da 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 da. She's like yeah, I don't drink. I had a DUI back in the day. These are all just whatever things, like things that are coming out. Cop comes back, stops behind us. Mind you, you can't even see because her windows are tinted. And once we seen the cop pass the first time, we closed the thing. So then he stops. So now we're like, oh. Shit. Okay, cool. So now she's spraying the spray like, okay, let's not smell this, whatever. So then he comes up.
Because that works.
So then he comes and he knocks on the window. She rolls the car down. She rolls the window down. And so he's like, hey, how's everything going? And she's like, oh, if I'm fine, so officer, how can I help you? And he's like, yeah, he was just like, yeah, is everything going okay? And she's like, yeah, everything is okay. I mean, I'm just wondering, like, why you stopping us? She wasn't being rude, but she was just kind of, a little combative, a little bit. She was just like, I don't understand. Like, why are you doing it? He was like, well, first off, you're parked in a handicap space, and I couldn't see your placard because your windows are tinted. And now that I'm looking at the placard, she was like, oh, I got a placard. And he was like, well, this isn't even valid. And so then he was like, can I get your license and registration? Mind you, now she had a drink or two, but I don't think she was lit or whatever. So she goes and had her the stuff. Her whole tone changes. She's like, look, officer, I want to work with you. So as soon as I heard that, I'm like, mind you, I just met this woman. So even though this is Precious people, I don't know this woman. So now she hands it to her and he looks at it and then he looks back up and he was like, well, you know this is an ID, right? And he was like, do you have a license? And he was like, is your license suspended? She was like, I had just found out that my license was suspended a day ago. She was like, I'm just trying to work with you, officer. I mean, I can leave my car. I'm here with my friend. I'm just like, what? He was like, give me a minute. So he goes back and he sits in the car. Now, mind you, I'm sitting with this person and I'm trying to keep it cool because I'm just like, I don't want to look like no hoe. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, it's probably nothing. And she's like, man, it's all bad. And then she starts talking like a different individual. She's like, oh, man, it's all bad. She starts picking up the phone. She's like, hey, yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Like, hey, listen, I just got pulled over. Might be all bad. Move that money. Da, da, da. I'm just like, and
move that money.
No, but not like that. But she was just like, I might need you to come get me. She was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? The license is suspended. Like, you know what I'm saying? They might take me. And so then 10 minutes passes. I don't say anything. Mind you, he doesn't say anything. He's still back there. 10 minutes pass. I don't say nothing. 20 minutes pass. I don't say nothing. Now I'm starting to be like, And then she's like, and so then he came. So when he talked to her at first time, he was like, well, whose name is the title in? Because she had paper. That's another thing. She had paper license plates on the car. So when she asked him, like, why did you stop me? He was like, well, you got paper plates on the back. And then I need to see your placard. That's all. He was like, now you got a suspended license. You've got nothing working. You got a lot of things working against you. So now he's back there 20 minutes, 32 minutes pass. I'm sitting here like scared, like, Nick, and the more she's talking, I'm like, is there a body in the trunk? What is it? So I'm thinking everything bad. So I'm just like, do you mind if I go see if I can leave? Because like I want to get out of there. And she's like, no, just relax. So now she's trying to calm me down. She's like, yeah, just relax. It ain't nothing. They probably gonna take me down to the county. You gonna be all right. They gonna let you go. And then she was talking to me like men talk to women to calm them down and showing me her alpha femaleness. And I was the sucker. And so I'm like, so I get up and I go to the dude. I stand up. I'm like, excuse me, officer. Hey, man, get back in the car. I'm just like, sit back in the car like I want to leave. So then I sit back down. 15 more minutes pass. He finally gets out. He comes back up and she's just thinking she's going to jail. She's like, yo, you want to maybe take the car? I'm just sitting here like, I want to go home. I'm sitting here like, and I told her too, I was like, I got to go pick up my daughter. So that's the reason I told her I had to go talk to dude. So then boom, he comes back. He basically pulls her out the car. He's like, look, I'm just out keep it honest with you. You know you in the wrong. I can make this go a different way, but I'm going to give you a ticket. I'm giving you tickets for driving on a suspended license. Even though she wasn't driving, giving you a ticket for park for the handicap thing. I'm taking the car, but you're not going to jail. Da-da-da-da-da. She keeps talking. So then I get out the car. So then I get out the car. I put a little sauce on. I'm like, can I get out? He's like, yeah. So I get out the car. I give him props. I'm like, brother, man, what's your name? He tells me, and I'm like, listen, he's a white dude. I said, I shake his hand. At first I shake his hand. He's like, no, I'm cool. I'm like, well, what? Because the COVID stuff. I'm like, well, these. I'm like, listen, bro. I said, listen, I really appreciate the way you handled that. You know how things can be with, brothers and cops. The way you handled that, masterful. She comes back. I'm just saying, no, why is my car getting towed? So now she's talking. I barely know her, but now I'm looking at him and I'm like, let's. So I basically removed her from the situation because she wasn't like combative because she was still happy. Then I don't want to say drag her off, but then I took her off, drop her off at home, and got the hell out of there. So I think I met an alpha female today, and I don't know what type of male that makes.
You're definitely a beta. But
what would you have done?
You're definitely a beta. The first thing that I'm gonna say is this is why you should have let White Mike take it.
White Mike tried to help me.
White Mike tried to help.
He tried to intercede.
And then you listen to this stranger say, no, don't leave. And you were like, wait, Mike, I'm going to walk her.
White Mike,
it's
sit
fine.
down.
Okay, I'm going to walk her. I'm going to come back and walk Precious. Also, poor Precious. She was probably standing on the sidewalk for 30 minutes waiting for you to come back.
No, I walked Precious to her car. Precious was fine. She got out of there, so she was fine.
So you walked her first.
Walked her first, came back, and then walked her. And the girl, she's sweet lady. I don't want to
hear that.
But it was.
Let me tell you
something. I
something.
seen that alpha coming. So then she didn't even know how to walk when she won. So I'm like, because she was ready to go to jail. She was like, here we go with this, man. I'm going. It didn't seem like that. She was just ready.
She don't know how to read the room. She
was just like, I'm going. And she was like, well, then these tickets ain't going to be able to stick. She's like, don't ask me how I know that. I was just like,
oh boy.
But she didn't know. Sometimes you got to, the moral of this story is.
Say no to drugs.
But know when you won.
Know when to hold them and know when to fold.
Because sometimes if you can talk yourself in or out of bad or great situations. I'm like, you got a blessing right now. Because my biggest thing was I didn't want her to keep talking. He somehow smelled liquor on her breath. She already had a DUI from back in the day. Now he just want to be a jerk. Man, take this breathalyzer. Oh, you going to jail. Like, you see what I'm saying? So it could have just went. And so that's why, like, when you getting that blessing, sometimes you got to just make that step.
You also didn't need to get in the car.
I was just chilling, man.
What are you chilling
for? Right, I ain't gonna lie. I was sitting there thinking that, but I was just like, this is the. But see, that's the thing. You don't really smoke, so you don't know.
It's not about smoking. I exist. So I know I have friends who smoke and friends who drink. But I've never done either, but that doesn't change the fact.
Okay, well, it's like if somebody had like some chili dogs. Like if they was like, yo, come in this car and
eat random
come in this car and
chili dogs.
Come Let me eat these corn chili dogs. You be like, I can eat.
No, boy. Let's unpack this, bro. This stranger.
She's not a stranger because she knew P.
Did you know her?
That was my first time meeting her.
So she's a stranger to you.
But she knew P.
So she's a stranger to you.
I was over here at a sleepover for you last week.
Yep.
There was couples here.
Yep.
There was at least one person there I'd never met in my life.
Absolutely.
Is that a stranger to me, or do I know him because you know him?
It's a stranger to you. Now, what you're trying to say to save your face is feeling safe around somebody because of the company that you guys share a mutual friend with.
True.
Now, I'll give you feeling comfortable to a certain extent.
Right.
When I see someone who's parked in the handicap spot
with no handicap,
with no visible to anybody.
Right.
It's also scary to me because I'm like, hey, baby girl, if you ain't limping,
what's up? Like,
where your pole are not that bad.
And then I really started to think about it. Like, you're right. I did get in the car. Let's just say she wasn't a good person. Let's just say she had pounds of coke in the trunk. And let's just say when the cops came up and said, whose coke is that? She's like, I don't know this guy. It's his. Or what if it was under my seat? So, of course, this woman wouldn't have done
that you didn't bring it.
So it was just an eye opener to just let you know, just watch it. But
let me say something, man.
I felt like I was cracking under the pressure.
We haven't even began to unpack this. First of all, I know my mama's watching. Mama, I want to say thank you for the life lessons. One of which I will share right now.
Okay.
My mother always told me, just like most parents told you guys, don't get in cars with strangers, right? Which is crazy now to say Uber and Lyft. I get it.
Do it every day.
In a situation, I'm already feeling red flaggy when I'm at this situation, if not only for White Mike, but for this girl.
Right.
Yes, she's a friend of Precious, but at the same time, I've never met her.
Right.
And she says to me, hey, don't leave me with White Mike. And you're like, all right, cool. And you walk her to the car. Cool, noble. Now it's time for you to skedaddle. She says, you want to smoke? And you says, I can smoke. And that's not saying you shouldn't smoke. Okay, right. Fine. You want to smoke? Let's smoke outside the car.
Right.
I'm not getting in a car.
Let's go to a park or something and, just be on a bench.
Bro, because my first thought is, and she's saying this anyway, you got a whole jealous girlfriend. So let's talk about that. Like when she sees this story, did you tell her this already?
She doesn't even know.
She's gonna give it to you, bro. She's gonna be on you about getting in the car with the girl. And okay, so you know what? Let's fast forward.
Wait, you're taking a side saying that I shouldn't have gotten the car?
That's my first thing.
It's Precious' his friend.
It's not your friend.
They want her to be.
You still want her to be. That's, cool. When I tell you this girl got to be caked up and caked out.
But no, it was just
her jeans have to be bursting at the seams.
It was just a good vibe, a good time. Everybody was having fun, and I was just
except White Mike, who you could have left on the hook for this possible cocaine job.
And he could, and White Mike could have beat it. He would have been drunk talking to the cops. He probably would have knew the cop. Come on, Bernard, let us go.
So now you're in the car.
In the car.
When you said this, I'm not going to say the young lady's name.
Right.
Not this one because I don't know her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you the story about BT.
Okay.
BT was giving a now very famous woman comedian a ride home from the comedy club.
Okay.
He gives her a ride home. BT at the time, financially struggling like we all were once upon a time. He didn't have correct tags. Okay. I don't know why he chose to be giving rides to people.
You gonna have everybody ride dirty with you?
Riding dirty. However, he gives her a ride. He gets pulled over directly in front of this young lady's crib. Now, BT Kingsley, those of you guys who are watching, is a man of color. He's a black man.
Oh, yeah.
All right. The woman, black woman, actually more black because she's African, Nigerian African. Speaking of Igbo, you understand me?
Got you.
Anyway. While he's pulled over, he don't know what to feel. He's like, you straightening your posture up. He's like, yo, man, I'm really nervous. He's like, hey, and they're like, hey, we don't want to hear from you right now. We're checking your stuff, like aggressive towards him, right?
Right.
The woman says, I live right here. Can I just get out and go home? Right?
That's the equivalent of what I did.
Exactly. So she said that. The cops was like, yeah, go ahead. And I'm like, because I'm in front of both of them at the time. And I'm like, you left him? And the only reason he even got pulled over, besides being stupid and having bad tags, was giving you a ride home. And you left him? So that made me, when you said that, made me think that scenario. So now let's put you in this car.
Okay.
Now you in the car.
Right.
You are with, this woman is black.
This woman.
Protect black women.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently, no matter how ridiculous they are, but she's smoking. The guy snitched on you.
He absolutely snitched.
The guy with the baby called the fuzz.
Absolutely.
Now, when he called the fuzz on y'all, that's what you should have known. This.
Right.
You had 3 opportunities to get out of the car and or tell her to move her car.
Right.
Y'all
Or to
didn't
just not
either.
smoke there.
Y'all did.
It wasn't smart. What are we, 19, smoking in front of an establishment? What are you, kids?
As soon as you said the police came by, I'm starting to hear the Jaws music.
But see, that's the thing, though. We get spoiled by the fact that it's legal. Like, you can't say anything to me now.
Dun, 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 dun. I'm like, they gave you a warning.
They did.
They pulled by the first time. You like, whew,
because
that was a close one.
Because this is what we're thinking.
Okay.
I am 42 years old.
I heard about that.
I know that it doesn't look like that. Black don't crack. But in my life, since I've been
apparently
driving,
light skin doesn't dim.
You understand that? So I have been, I like that. I tried to just move on. I was like, wait, got a great ring to it. I've been driving since I was 18.
All right.
24 years. Never have I ever been pulled over with a car that wasn't running and was parked. So we're thinking like this. Yes, he just passed us. This car has tinted windows. He can't see in it, and it's parked. So you're just thinking he ain't thinking that. Like, you see what I'm saying? So that's why you think it's cool to smoke. When you see the guy changing his kid, you're not like, bro, is it really that serious? Like, okay, you changed your kid. Okay, I get it. The smell probably annoyed you, but is that really what you're doing? Like, they're doing like,
yes.
So we weren't thinking that. So then even when we thought he did that, we're thinking to the naked eye, if a cop passes, he just gonna see a car that's parked with tinted windows
in the handicap spot.
Yeah, but that's what changed
auspicious.
Everything.
This car is very fancy, like you said.
And then he was looking for, and then that was the whole thing. She had just bought the car, so the title hadn't transferred over. I was just like, they taking us.
So she's in this car, and you're not even dealing with somebody that every time I've been pulled over, first thing I'm doing, hey, how you doing, officer?
But see,
last time I got pulled over, I hit him with the, hey, how you doing, man? Bam. He did that. He's like, yeah, you got your, you know what, man? You seem like a nice enough guy, man. I thought you might be giving me a hard time. Just go ahead through, man. Be careful. And I was like, thanks.
Thank you for saying that, because this is another part that I wanted to bring up. With the time, because I had a different hoodie on, I had my hands in my hand warmers, right?
Ooh.
So I'm sitting like this. When he comes to the door, this is what I'm saying to all black men out there, because I've said this publicly before, and this is just really a fact. Now, I know that everybody's not, this hasn't happened to everybody, but I don't know if I'm lucky or if I just learned something, but I'm just passing on information. Never really had a negative interaction with a police officer. And I've been pulled over a lot of times.
Okay.
I've been pulled over in the wrong. I've been pulled over in everything, but it's just certain things that I do when I get pulled over. And 85% of the time I got pulled over by white cops. And even like, last year, like when I had stuff going on, like when cops came to my house, like cops have always been cool to me.
Okay.
So whatever. So I'm sitting here like this. So when he walks up to the door and he knocks on the window, the first thing I do before she rolls the window down, I put my hands like this.
Yeah.
Simple things. As soon as he comes in, like you just said, so he says, hey, can I see you? I say, hey, how you doing, officer? He said the same thing, like, hey. And so then, boom, that was our first time speaking. Even when I got out the first time, I was so non-threatening. I opened the door and the door was open first, and I let it stay open. I put my leg out, put this arm out like this, and then I turned, just not like with my hands, but I just turned, like, how when you're acting, they tell you to open up? Mm-hmm. I just turned open, so just like my hands are in front of you. I said, hey, man, like, because he was like calling something in. And he was cool. He was like, because you could tell he was talking. He was like, hey, let's get back in there. Let me tell you, this dude didn't even ask me for my license, nothing. Didn't sweat me, who are you to her? Because they're not supposed to do that, but a lot of officers do. They abuse their power. They're assuming you probably on probation or something. I could mess with you. You don't know the law enough to know that I don't have to give you nothing. I'm not driving. He was super cool, and then he was super cool after. So that's something I definitely want to tell the people. Whenever you have these interactions with police, understand that a lot of times they're more afraid than you are. I've heard that from actual policemen. And
it's still, even these things that you're telling people to prepare, and it still might go badly.
Right. There's still no, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. At the same time, it's like, once they get there and they can kind of deem you as a non-threat, that can kind of make things. And I know, and I know that, and you know, she wasn't even giving him too much kickback on stuff. So we got out of that situation because if he wanted to, he could have booked her. He could have sent her and just been like this. You're in the driver's seat of a car with a suspended license. You're going
in a handicap.
You know what I'm saying? In a handicap space
with an expired handicap.
He could have done whatever he wanted. So that's
balls in itself.
The towing was whatever. But
now let me ask you this.
I felt like a sucker though. I ain't gonna hold you.
Of course. Now, I mean, even hearing the story. Right. But so, at what point did you say, you know what, you're on your own, baby girl?
It was about 32 minutes in. I had the poker face. I'm sitting there like, it ain't nothing. He probably like I'm keeping it cool the whole time. This is nothing. Like, just relax, you know. But as time goes, I'm just like. So you think they're going to let us? So she's just like, he probably calling for another car. When another car come, I know I'm going to jail. So she's talking to Precious. Hey, girl, like, yeah, I'm with Doughboy.
What was Precious saying?
Precious like, oh, my God, you need me to come back? She was like, I'm probably finna go. The thing that threw me off, this is the thing that was making me more and more uncomfortable, and maybe it was supposed to be making me comfortable, how calm she was. Like, I would, if you pull me over and you threaten me with the threat, I'm going to scream and burst into flames. She was so cool. And it seemed like the people she was calling weren't that, you know, surprised either. They were like, okay, like they were just doing whatever she said. Yeah. So I might be calling you. Yeah. Tell such and such. Yeah, you might have to come pick me up.
So after the scenario, you're gone. You've left the scene.
I took her home and I took her to her house.
You took her to her house.
Yeah.
What area? The Valley or LA?
No, she's in the Valley. She lives in a gated community. Super nice house. Doing well for herself.
Oh, drug dealer. So, do you give the call to Precious?
Well, me and Precious, I talked to Precious after. And so, you know, when we talked, it was just, you know, we chopped it up. Everything was, you know, it was cool. We laughed about it, you know, and I told her, you know, the wild story.
Dope boy.
But
you get into a lot of crazy adventures, bro. But let me just say this from now on, man. Never gonna say don't protect black women.
Right.
I'm never gonna say don't protect women.
Right.
When you are, you know, you see an opportunity, a woman doesn't feel safe with a guy.
Right.
Hey, I'll walk you to the car.
Uh-huh.
Got it. Don't get in the car.
Now I know. I get it.
Walk them there. Take care of yourself.
Right. Or you can come smoke in my car because I know what's in my car and I know.
And it ain't no expired handicap pass.
So yeah, but in my mind,
plates.
But let me tell you too, like also how your mind, you know, works when you got that pole not that by. So everything is heightened, right? And so like when you have, you know, manic episodes, what they call them, it's just like, you know, and I think we'll talk about, you know, a manic episode, you know, later in this if we touch the docket. But basically everything is just heightened. Right. Mm-hmm. So even like now, like I still feel like, you know, I be revved up about stuff, but I just know how to handle it. It's like, though, just chill out, you know, just relax, whatever. So I just had a really good point. I just lost the whole point of what I was about to say to it.
I'm so sure. You know what I'm excited about?
I was about to make a fire point.
I'm sure. I'm excited. I would love to be next to you and Tony when she hears this story. Like, I would love to hear it on this episode. Genuine reaction.
She's going to have to hear it on this episode.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't have the time for this conversation.
I can't wait until she reacts.
That's the thing I was saying. So, like, being revved up is just, you're heightened. So, you can be in an episode for anywhere from a week to a month to whatever until you kind of, like, reset, you know what I'm saying? So, in the car, as the time is going by, my anxiety is starting to, and now I'm really starting to think the worst. So now, like to where a normal person, like you probably sit there for 30 minutes, like, man, they taking hell long. They need to hurry up. You know what I'm saying? That's how your mind is going to process it because you're a regular functioning person. My mind, how it's going to be, the first 10 minutes is going to be that. Then it's going to be like, does she have drugs in this car? Is there a gun under my seat? They're going to take me. I'm going to do 30 years. I don't have the bail money for this. This is about to happen. What am I going to say to Kiara? Whose number do I know by heart if they take me in the intake? Bro, you haven't done anything. You're just sitting here, chill. But so by the time 30 minutes came, I needed to get out that car. I was about to have like a panic attack. So that's what the difference is, because I'm just sitting there nervous, and there was nothing to be nervous about.
You're absolutely right. And I'm glad everything worked out.
Right.
And that she did not have anything, or I'm glad that she also didn't get that breathalyzer.
Right.
But I will say, you don't know what people have in their cars.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
So
that was a foolish thing, and you're right too. And sometimes maybe that was like, now that you say it like that, it was just a lapse because it was just like, oh, you know, you're the homie. Like, I'm just not tripping. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying. But that could have ended.
Shout out to her though, because that entire from beginning of you sitting down with her, Precious, and White Mike, and her telling you she was an alpha female. It took a while, but she showed it when she calmed you down.
She really was. She was like, "Oh, don't worry, they're gonna let you out of here." Like she always just, "I'm gonna let you out of here.
You
man.
good.
Don't worry about it, man.
You good. You got a future in front of you.
Like, yeah, you be good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and she was on the phone. She was like, "Yeah, he gonna be good. He ain't finna go to jail. He ain't did nothing." I was just like, "Well, what did you do?" Like, so, but shout out to her, amazing young lady. It was still a good time. It was a fun story to share on the podcast.
It was a great story.
So
Jeez Louise. I mean, listen, man. Oh my God, it's like you can never predict what's gonna happen with the fuzz, man.
Right.
And that scenario, man, I just wish you would have let White Mike take her. It's like, but
who knows what would have happened with Mike White? If White Mike would have took her though. Because see, White Mike was cool, but you know what I'm saying?
Alpha would have been fine.
But see, he was too cool. I was just like, and then like he giving me the look like we homies, and I'm like, well, I don't even know you, White Mike. And you buying everybody drinks. It's just weird, White Mike.
Yeah. Lord forbid he wants to give you a ride somewhere.
And he had ordered me a drink too. And the crazy thing is, like, he ordered me a drink, and I low-key got mad. Like, I don't drink. Like, he was supposed to know that. Like, you're at a bar. Like, man, shut up.
Shut up.
But speaking of bipolar episodes,
okay,
our man Kanye is smack dab in the middle of the juice. I'm not laughing at his bipolar episode that he's going through, but it is clear to me now that I have a different type of reaction when Ye goes Ye.
Okay.
And now that I got that polar, not that bi, I can see it. Like, bro, he's just manic. Like, do we not see the pattern now? So let's get the serious part out of it now. Like, okay. And I don't feel like he was saying any like truthfully hurtful things to anybody. Like, I feel like he was hitting everybody with kid gloves. But that is what mania looks like. The same way he went and when he said, slavery was a choice. Mm-hmm. That's mania, bro. Like, that's when it sounds like a good idea, but it's not. So we are seeing this in real time happen with him. So
I'll tell you the mania. The mania is when he mentioned, for those of you guys who are wondering, what are we talking about? Kanye West
Drink Champs
went on
episode.
the Drink Champs podcast with Noriega and gave him 2 hours. What?
Noriega.
I said Noriega.
You said Noriega.
I don't even have to correct it. I
said Noriega. They will hear it in the replay. Noriega.
Here's the thing. And anybody who says Noriega.
New nickname alert, Noriega. You just thought it fits.
Why do they call you Noriega?
Because I used to be the drink champ. Come on.
That's fire.
I don't know where it comes from.
I don't know where it comes from. So he goes on the podcast.
Woo,
and the only part that he had that I felt was manic was him talking about the maids and the nannies.
Oh no.
I hear what you're saying as far as the things that he was saying, but everything that I heard him saying, he was actually very clear to make sure everybody understood what he was saying. And until he got to the nannies and the maids part, blaming Kim's team for certain things dealing with his children. And I was like, oh.
I didn't even make it to that part. I watched.
You didn't make it to that part.
I thought I watched the whole thing. I don't remember that part. I was here for the tea. I was here for all the stuff, the people that he was
just the highlights.
But see, this is the thing. No, I'll show you why it definitely is mania. When the things don't match up, right? So he's sitting there talking about taking Soulja Boy off of the song, right?
Yeah.
He was like, did you hear that? First of all, that was hilarious.
That was
he was like, did you hear that verse? So, but then
you never want to be somebody taken off.
That's hilarious. But then if you go to DJ Academics page, DJ Academics has Soulja Boy on his show like a week ago. He showed him his phone where Kanye replied with fire emojis and stuff when he did it. So it's like, well, why would you tell somebody that you like their verse? Like, you know what I'm saying? If you plan on taking it off. And then he kind of went on there and was like, he was really like ishing on a lot of people. Like,
well, before we get to that, to stay on the Soulja Boy part, you know, you don't want to get taken off of anything.
Right.
But also, you're saying
you hear that verse?
You said, did you hear that verse? Like him,
he was popping his classic.
He was also several shots in.
Oh, yes.
Several shots in.
See?
And beyond being several shots in, you know, the
and then
truth
he smoked.
comes out.
And then he smoked.
So him telling me, he was like, did you hear that verse? So go back to the fire text that he sent Soulja. Mm-hmm. If at that time I'm trying to keep stuff cool and text loses its tone like we've had on several episodes, I'm going to be like, you know. Right. But if you hear the finished product and you're not on the album, you'll know what I truly thought, which is still passive aggressive and unfortunate, but it's the reality. Now, for Kanye to say the verse was trash, there was a show called on Aspire called Bob Sumner did a show
Full House.
No, I said Bob Sumner, not Bob Saget. Bob Sumner is the casting mind.
Yeah, he did.
Producer behind
Def Comedy Jam.
And so many Laugh Mob on True TV. So many different projects. He's a legend in this game. I love Bob. He's helped me so much in my career.
Right.
Comic View. So he did a show on Aspire. I was one of the comedians, right?
Okay.
BT, me, a whole mess of comedians did it. When I tell you, this is a year that I was working on Wild 'N Out behind the scenes. And I went up and I had a not great set.
Oh, not you.
It was not great. And Bob was like, that wasn't your best, man. I always want you always want you being seen at your best, man. So I'm not gonna air it. And I was like, thank you. You know what I mean? Because I knew it wasn't me.
I'm not gonna air it. I'm not gonna air it.
So if anybody was to ever ask me, of course I would say what's up, but I'm not going to be like, I wonder what I didn't do. You know what I'm saying? So Soulja, go ahead.
But see, this is the thing. Now put this on the inverse. What Kanye did was, so how about if in that same scenario,
I wonder what song it was.
Bob Sumner comes to you and says, hey man, that was a fire set. Like maybe he just tells you, that's fire, man. It's going up and it's going to be good. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be lit. The people going to love it. See you. You know you had a bad set.
You're adding extras.
No. You think you said it admittedly.
I'm saying what if you're comparing to Kanye?
Because I'm saying A is the equivalent to you made the album.
No.
Listen, bro, don't do that. If I send you, let me tell you, because I know I'm not an established rapper, but I do rap.
Stop saying that. You're an established
I'm an established rapper. So this is how the game
beats.
works.
Yeah.
When you work with people, if I send you something and then you send me a verse back and I hit you with the fire emojis, that means it's lit and we going up. If I don't like it, I'm supposed to tell you, hey.
Have you told people A?
Either that or I just didn't put the song out.
But have you told people, what did you say when the verse wasn't what it was supposed to be?
I don't know that I've ever told you that the
Okay.
verse was trash, but that's neither here nor there.
That's exactly here and there.
But back to okay. I'll give you that. I'll give you as much. Let me get a word in edgewise. So him, let's just say him saying that in that same situation is him being like, yo, this is that heat. I'm going to put you on this for show and you're going to kill it. Then it comes out, you're not on it. And then he goes on an interview and they be like, yo, why'd you take CT off of that show? You're like, did you see his set? You'd be pissed. You would be pissed.
I would be pissed. That's so funny. Did you see that set?
Like what?
Listen, I said I wanted you to finish. I wanted you to get it all out.
Right.
You put extras on it because that's probably not how it went.
Okay.
He probably sent him the song, like beat and everything. He dropped his verse on it, sent it back.
Ye said flame emojis.
No, listen, because you gave me that perspective. I'm going to give you this one. Yo, I just sent the verse. Send. Kanye reads it. Fire emojis.
Oh, before he even listens to it.
Come on. That wasn't a possibility?
And I'll give you that. And so I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So that's not Polar Not That By. So that's not that. But what is Polar Not That By is going on the radio to somebody that you respect. Because you know he respects Soulja. Soulja Boy's the future. He said that.
He said it.
And then 2 minutes later, I took him off. Because you could have just left that out.
He said that before he said Soulja's the future.
Exactly.
He said, did you hear that verse?
Right.
And he's like, look, and Soulja's the future, man. Soulja's the future.
I ain't even finna debate that with you. Those are two contradictory. Like you
it's not contradicting.
Okay.
Even the future can have a bad day.
You're right. But the way
in the past.
But this is what I'm saying. A professional such as Kanye knows that these aren't things that you're supposed to do as a professional. No matter what, he is still a professional.
He shouldn't have said it. No.
He shouldn't have said that. He shouldn't have said that. He shouldn't have said the thing about Big Sean. Did you see what he said about Talib Kweli?
Well, we'll get to Talib after we get to John Legend. Now, for those of you guys who are wondering, well, we're going into this like this, man. Kanye West, Doughboy believes he was having a manic episode while he was saying this about Soulja Boy. I feel that it was the alcohol and the drugs that just let him be free. And then he caught himself and still showed love to these people. Big Sean and John Legend, Kanye West went on to say, I should be dead because the worst decision I've ever made in music was signing Big Sean.
Yo, I spit my Gatorade on the screen when
hearing him say that.
Yeah, I rock with Big Sean.
You're like, so do I, Detroit. So I'm like, where is this coming from, right? And then Kanye let on where it was coming from, which was, yo, when I was running for president, they let the Democratic Party get to them into spewing why they made their decision and being opposite me. And these are two brothers that I changed their lives. And I changed their lives, and they gonna turn their back on me like that in the public eye. That's why he felt so much anger towards Big Sean and John Legend, and even went on to say, they're my family and I love them. All I got to do is apologize and we good. So he let you know what was up. He didn't just say cryptic things and keep going.
I didn't disagree with that.
Okay.
I didn't disagree with a lot. And so let me say this too. When I have been on record for calling Drake like our greatest artist, like I'm the biggest fan of his.
No, right? I don't. I'm a huge Drake.
Said that? I've said that a time or two.
Crazy.
Yeah. Drake, I had a Fat Drake character. You may know, 20 million
Fat
views.
Drake?
Yeah, 20 million, give or take. Okay. Who cares about numbers? 21.2 million. But anyway, so but when Ye said, I can admit when I'm wrong. When Kanye, because this is the thing that people get confused, right? We look at Kanye. It's very the easiest thing to do, especially when somebody's in Hollywood and is a celebrity or just a public figure. The easiest thing to do is dismiss somebody as crazy.
Yes,
very easy to do. All you got to do is say or do a couple questionable things. People can give you that quick. We be forgetting how much of a genius Kanye is. When they said, would you do the verses with Drake? Now, mind you, me and you were going back and forth, and I was like, I got Drake, and you were like, there's no way Kanye can beat him. The first time
you said Drake,
I said Drake,
and
you said Kanye.
And I said there's no way that Drake could beat Kanye.
That's what you said, yes. And you were right. And let me tell you why. When Kanye said he would need to go against 4 people, it sounds crazy when he says that. But I had a producer on my live the other day, and we was talking. I was like, who do you think would win? And he was like, well, the thing you got to understand about Kanye can win because he can play different songs that he produced for people, different people so he can go against he can have a versus against any big producer you think and go against them. He could go against any rapper you think. He could go against any emo type of R&B style. He might be the greatest artist of our time. And I need to be able to fall back and know when I'm being part of the propaganda because they just trying to paint that man as crazy. And I'm like, no. Now, he do got some stuff going on. He do kind of pop off a little bit, but you're not finna sit here and discount his genius. And he's not all the way off. It's just when that manic starts kicking and you start drinking. Think of it like this. We all got thoughts in our mind. I think the average thoughts, I think we all cycle through maybe 6,000 or 8,000 thoughts a day. Something wild. We have a lot, close to maybe to 10,000. But people have thoughts all day, right? And sometimes we don't have great thoughts. You might think, man, I want to smack this ish out of this person. But you don't do it because you got things at stake. What being manic does, and this is what happens, right? So if you're manic on some stuff, it'll just be like, oh, this is so like when I start going mad, I'll be like, man, I need to just hit up these chicks and go smash Raw. No, I don't. I need to, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to do that. But it sounds like a good idea. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I'm saying? So then if he's manic and he's not taking the meds and then you start drinking, that's always going to tell you to run the red light. And then you're smoking. So now any thought that you ever had in your head, you just start saying it. And then you just start running it off. And then that's the messed up part because he's already damaged a lot of relationships like that. He's going to keep doing it because I understand that people aren't as forgiving like that. You say something like that about a person once, you try to be like, hey, bro, get away from me. I don't want you around. But I seen that in him. So I'm officially saying, look, Drake might be scared of the Kanye verses. He might. And I'm the biggest Drake stan.
I'm going to say I don't think Drake is afraid of a versus with him because Drake also wrote and produced several hits for people, not the level of Kanye West. However, I will say Drake and Kanye's issues seem to be deeper than music. It seems like it's gotten personal. Very personal. And not personal to where they would ever fight each other. They're both worth too much money to fight one another physically.
Well, when you bring people's wives into stuff, and Kanye touched a lot on that too.
He said it.
Yeah.
He talked about it. He's like, yo, then why would you even let people believe these things after you've, said this and that stuff? But the fact that this is the part that people will miss. He said, I put together a group text
That was
Jay-Z, he said Jay-Z, Drake,
Kim Kardashian,
Virgil. Who's Virgil again?
The dude that designs for
got it.
Gucci or whatever.
And what's his name that's with Kylie Jenner?
Travis Scott.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing that people don't realize. If it was ever serious, they know how to find each other. They have each other's personal numbers. Mm-hmm. If you can drop this song and you drop his address and I send a group text.
True.
What are we really talking about here?
But
the streets are making it bigger than what.
But the thing that can make those situations go dangerous, much like I'm saying, like because Kanye, that really did bother him about the Kim thing. Remember when he was going off, he was like, "Hey, keep my name." What he was thinking that he made that Kiki, do you love me? Like, and Drake has been known to not do overt disses. Like he's very subliminal. He's very, you kind of got to dig through it. If this is your wife, like at the end of the day, you're married, like you see what I'm saying? So that's your wife. Like you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if somebody in our public space was trying to allude to the fact that he was smashing your wife, that would bother you. Even if, especially if you really didn't like the dude, and then if you tried to work with him, be cool. Like Drake feels like Kanye, betrayed him. He went and told him, "Hey, I got a kid on the way," and then he felt that he went and took that information and gave it to Pusha T. So he's just sitting there like, so when you really start thinking like, yo, you disrespecting me as a man, bro, and that takes it out of I got money, because you still CT at the end of the day. I don't care how much money you got, how nice your crib is, you still CT.
I don't have anything. If y'all could subscribe to the Patreon, huge help for me.
But you a man first. Yeah. So let me ask, let's personify a little bit. So what would you do if there was somebody in our space and they was making videos alluding to smashing your wife?
First of all, I wouldn't get that far. Would not get that far.
You team pull up. Listen, I probably have to pull up with you for reinforcements.
This is you got to understand.
I'm going for the trip.
In comedy, the reason you don't see a lot of comedy beefs go beyond somebody joking or saying something.
They've gone there before.
I promise you guys.
I'd have put some people on IR. Oh. I'm sorry, but you gotta leave me alone sometimes.
There are in the comedy community. I don't know how it is with rap and other entities.
Right.
In the comedy community, I know where to find you. If I don't know where to find you, I have a friend that knows where you live or a way to get in contact with you. If it was ever serious, if it was ever serious enough for me to be like, man, I need to get a message to Eddie Murphy.
You could.
I could easily do it, right?
And that's Eddie.
Because I know the mutual friends. It's like, hey, such and such, could you do me a favor? Tell Eddie I specifically said that. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
And I know people are watching. Well, if that's the case, had him put such and such in a movie. That's not what you...
Exactly.
You don't understand how relationships work.
Right.
But I'm saying if there was ever something that was serious enough, in my opinion, I could go straight to the source.
Right.
When you look at a lot of comedians specifically, we know where each other live. So that in itself, bam. Like, I'll give a perfect example. A lot of episodes ago, we were talking about Jamie Foxx. And I was like, I know the mutual friends. You know what I'm saying? When I was at Ada's screening, shall remain nameless, his right-hand man was sitting at my table and we were talking about something that's about to happen. And I was like, man, that's so crazy. That's so crazy.
Right.
That everything is 6 degrees of separation.
Right.
So when we talk about the disrespect, it's also weird because it's like, bro, why would you do this to each other when y'all know how to find each other?
Because I feel like, once it gets to a certain level in the public eye, then that's just what it becomes. It just becomes shots after shots. I'm pretty sure they had a personal relationship before. Pretty sure they haven't spoken at all now. But, you are right. Like, they definitely can reach out to each other. But I just be feeling like some things should be off limits. Like, and I'm a big Drake fan. I'm like, bro, like, stop talking about that man's wife. Like, that's not cool. Like, that ain't gangster. That's not really
he never claimed to be gangster. But
it's just, that's just a lot. But then at the same time, I could see where Drake is coming from, because he's feeling like, I gave some information to Kanye, you gave it to Pusha T, and Pusha T says some really disrespectful stuff, disrespecting my family, my friend that has an illness, like, so no, like, disrespecting my parents, like, so no, it could be screw all y'all.
It also always goes back to a girl when it comes to like friendships, and that's what it seems like. Even the beginning of our relationship, it was about a girl in your mind. And it was like, so when men have a problem with each other, it's always about a girl.
It's a lot of times. More times than others.
Yeah.
It is about that. But that interview, if you haven't, it might be the best hour and 20 minutes to spend.
2 hours. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Is it?
That's why you didn't know what I was talking about.
Dang, I must have missed more.
I went straight to the Drink Champs page on YouTube.
It was just great. It was just, and you know,
Shout
he was back in that. And a lot of people have already responded. Like, so apparently Big Sean's going to be, I think this Big Sean, let's talk about that for a second. I think this Big Sean and Kanye thing has been headed for a collision for a while. Because you remember when Mace called out Diddy for the money thing, and then Big Sean, when Kanye had said something like Kanye was like, yeah, I'm gonna be giving back all my artists their royalties, and then Big Sean had said something like, yeah, that would be cool, Kanye. So but behind the scenes, it's been said that Kanye really railroaded Big Sean, and Big Sean's been like career-wise, money-wise, like got him for millions of dollars. Roy had him sign over his royalties. From what I'm understanding, like Kanye has been in hindrance to Big Sean's.
So what was Big Sean's response?
I can't wait. He was like, basically, he put out a tweet, said, he was like, LMAO, I was just with this dude after the interview. He wasn't saying none of that. And he put up a picture of him, Kanye, and Hit Boy. And then he was like, now Drink Champs hit my phone. I can't wait to show up. So I think this next episode is going to be very telling, because I feel like Big Sean is probably irritated at a lot of the stuff, because a lot of people's careers were thwarted by Kanye with that whole Drake thing. You know that, right?
No, tell me more.
So what happened was in 2018 when Drake was about to drop Scorpion, so he links with Kanye, and Kanye's like, yo, you need to come to Wyoming, I want to produce for you, but you got to tell me all your secrets, I want to be like the Quincy Jones of this, I'm gonna give you beats. So he gave him a beat, like, tell me about your life, I want to work with you, when's your release date? He told him when his release date was. It was like in June, right? So then, boom, like a week later happens. Remember when Kanye came out with that song, Poopity Scoop, Scoop, Scoop? Remember he was like, and everybody was like, what is this, right? That was a beat that he gave to Drake. And then so he gives him the beat like, this is for your album. And then he comes out with a song like Poopity Scoop. So then Drake's like, what? Like, this dude's on some weird stuff, whatever. So then basically what ends up happening, he tells him all the stuff. He tells him all of, I'm telling you how this thwarted Big Sean, right?
You said a lot of artists.
Okay, yeah, no. So then what happened? So then boom. So he had June. So June was supposed to be when Drake was going to drop. Then after all that stuff happened, then all of a sudden Kanye puts up an announcement and he's dropping an album every Friday in the month of June. And so it's like he was trying to get on the same release day as him. So that was like the Tiana Taylor album. I think Nas had came out with an album, and he rushed all their albums because he was trying to mess up Drake's rollout. So that's why like Tiana Taylor's off the album. The Nas album nobody ever talks about.
What year was this?
This was 2018.
Okay. Good Fridays was 2010.
Yeah, so that was a long time ago. So like a lot of, if you look, good music is over. Like 2 Chainz not there no more. Big Sean's not there. Like, you know what I'm saying? The whole thing is just, so I think when Big Sean has his interview, he's going to shed some light on some Kanye stuff.
It'd be great to see it. What was John Legend's response?
He hasn't responded yet, but a lot of people be getting at John Legend with that.
Yeah.
And I do feel like if he put y'all on, y'all just shouldn't have said nothing. Like, and how about this? This is another thought I was thinking about this. Why do people keep like I keep hearing people being like, I ain't trying to hear nothing that Kanye say. He supported Trump. Like, I'm really kind of getting tired of that narrative. Listen to what I'm saying.
No, I'm listening.
Why do we get so bad? Like, if that is who he chose to vote for, if that's who he chose to put his beliefs behind and whatever, why do people care so much? Like that, obviously there were other people who thought it too because he was nominated the president. I just don't understand why we still villainize him for that.
Here's the thing. I'll answer your question. Mm-hmm. If you ever want to divide a room, talk about politics or religion. Right. That's period. Mm-hmm. If you ever notice, you never hear me share any of my views about any of that stuff because I don't think that anybody, first of all, the people who, it's kind of like, the people who know, right? Okay. So it's like, hey, man, I love Mighty Morphin Power Rangers season 1 and 2, right? Mm-hmm. And then you see other people who are Power Ranger fans. It's like, bow, we get each other, right? Mm-hmm. I don't feel the need to go to a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
and try to convert
convention
them
and say, hey, y'all should be watching
Got it.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So I don't even discuss stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I'm getting to this point that people don't like when you're not down with what they're not down with, right?
Right.
Because a lot of people aren't able to separate the art from the artists. So it's like you like Luther Vandross, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Luther Vandross loved candy corn. Now you like,
he didn't
I can't rock with you, Luther, because it's different than you expected out of him. But if he just continues making songs, you're like, oh, I love that Luther.
You don't need to
Had
know
no
about-
idea he was into X, Y, and Z. So the reason that people care is because we place artists on a pedestal, and a lot of people feel like if you're supporting something that I don't support, I'm not putting my money behind you to support the thing that I don't support, and that's their choice and that's their right. But that's the answer to your question. Now, as far as Kanye is concerned, as far as the he putting them on, Kanye West put a lot of people on.
Yeah.
I have been put on by several people. When you look at Bentley Kyle Evans, my mama, my wife, these are people that you'll never hear me say anything bad about.
Right.
Because, I would not be who I am had it not been for these people and several others.
Right.
I'm just giving you some. I don't have time to name it.
Right.
So, bam, right?
Uh-huh.
But then you see, I can see how he's offended by helping change somebody's life.
And then you talking about it, regardless of what I'm doing. Just be
Yeah.
like, hey, that's what bruh's doing. But shout out to that interview. He talked about
I feel like that
a myriad of
personally.
things.
Like there have been friends that I've helped, and I don't brag about anything, but I had the situation about 2 weeks ago. This friend of mine, I see her out with one of the homies, right? And you could see the look on their faces when I saw them. They looked shocked, and I was like, "Hi," you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up? What's up, y'all?
Right.
And and the guy was like, "Yeah, don't tell nobody you saw me tonight." And I'm like, "Hey,
What?
I'm not gonna say nothing, no way,
My
right?"
business. Right.
So I leave, and then the girl texts me. She was like, "Hey, it's so great to see you." I was like, "Yo, so great to see you too." I had no idea.
Wait. So I got to get a better understanding of this.
Yeah.
So were they not supposed to be out together? if other people would have seen them, would they have been like, what?
I don't know. They were
Okay.
so shocked to see me.
It just
right?
felt like, I just felt like, okay, so they were just shocked to see you. Was it like they were caught with their hand in a cookie jar? Like, ee.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
like when you see people. Okay, when you go places
Yes, I'll be doing that.
and you
from
be
time
like,
to
I
time.
go places that I don't think I'm gonna run into nobody I know.
Orange County.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this was one of those places. First of all, you don't know where I'm gonna be.
Right.
So I just happened to go to the spot because Shantae was there,
Okay.
right? And I see these two friends, who I didn't even know knew each other.
Okay. Oh, okay.
A guy and a girl.
But you knew both of them.
I knew both of them.
Got it.
So the guy's like, "Hey, you know what I'm saying?"
Yes,
And I was
sir.
like, "Get you.
You
It's
ain't
safe
seen
with me."
nothing. Right.
So the girl hits me a couple hours later. "So great to see you." I was like, "Yo, great to see you too." I had no idea you and
Such and such.
And she flipped out
On you?
on the text message. She was
What'd she say?
"I can't believe." So every guy that I'm hanging out with, I got to be. And I was like, "Did you not hear him say to me?"
Oh, so he said that in front of her?
Yeah, but apparently she wasn't listening. So I'm like, he just let the cat out the bag. What are you talking about, right? And this was someone that
And she flipped on you.
flipped on me, like most people do. This
Right.
the scapegoat.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm like, yo, I'm shocked because I will say this. I don't brag about helping anybody because my mom didn't raise me like that. You help people if you have the opportunity to help somebody.
Right.
But what I do command and demand is if I help somebody, you better not fix your mouth to say nothing crazy to me.
Yeah, monkey mouth.
Ever, right? So she's talking to me like this, and I was like,
Oh, so you've helped her before in life?
yes. I said, you out your rabbit ass mind. Fixing your mouth to talk to me like this?
You said all of this?
Yes.
Oh,
And I was like, don't ever hit my phone again.
dang.
Because this is someone that
These are final consequences.
listen, man. This is someone that like will hit you. It's really bad right now, I just want to get out $30, and you like, here's 50. Whatever you
Go
going
away.
through,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So
Did
it's
she
like
respond after you said that? Or you blocked it?
she sent like this long thing. I said, we both know I'm not reading it.
You didn't even read it?
No.
You should have at least. She might have been apologizing.
No.
What if she just said, hey, man, I had a bender that night. I didn't really feel that way. I'm sorry.
It's too late.
Are you going to write her out of your life?
Book's already written. It's been published. It's at the Barnes & Noble online.
You can't be going that final, man. People make mistakes.
You obviously don't know me, Dendo boy.
I know you very well.
Let me tell you how.
Okay, but let's unpack it, though.
Okay.
What bothered you the most about it? So let's play devil's advocate, okay? Mm-hmm. So she sees you.
Yeah.
She's with old boy.
They
see you.
Because they're both my friends.
So let's give her the benefit of the doubt that maybe she didn't hear you. You're trying to give him baseball signs that you got it. So that could have happened. Right. Mm-hmm. Let's say that in her mind, she's knowing she's not supposed to be out with this guy for whatever reason. I don't know who these people are. Don't even need to know offline. Mm-hmm. But there was something, what's the word? Ajar.
Okay.
About the situation. Oh, no. What's the word? I'm using the wrong word. Awry. There's something awry about the situation because of the way that they're both acting. Uh-huh. So maybe when you ask her that, she's deflecting. She's like, I probably shouldn't be doing this anyway. I probably shouldn't be with this guy. I knew somebody was going to see me. I don't need my friend who knows everybody to, say anything to all of our mutual friends, even though you're not no blabbermouth like that. But you know how, people can be if they think their business is going to be exposed. So maybe in that moment, she's simply deflecting.
No. And I'm glad that you mentioned that I don't be blabbering. I'm literally a vault. Like
you are. It's never happened that I've told you something that it came back that you said anything.
And it won't.
I told you some stuff.
You have. Anyway, so I'm not the type of person to share information about someone's trust that they've given me. Mm-hmm. With this particular friend, I know where the bodies are buried. So it's like, it's almost like I'm reading this and I'm like, did you send this to the wrong person?
You should have sent her a gif of a shovel. Like, you want to go dig up these?
How dare you talk to me like that? Yeah, let me go.
Go dig up all of these things and dump them on your front porch, hoe.
Bro, there are friends of mine that know where my bodies are buried. Like Tangerine, when I tell you she knows the longitude and latitude of the bodies, I'm never leaving her. You understand? I'm not going to make her mad. I'm here.
Business.
What do you need? What do you need? I got it. So that kind of thing. So to unpack it, it's like this, bro. I am a very valuable friend.
You are.
So, well, thank you. But I wasn't saying that to fish for the cup, but I'm just saying. So the type of person that I am is like, yo, once you've shown me that you could fix your mouth to say something to me crazy, shows that you never truly appreciated me as a friend in the first place. Mm-hmm. So it's that much easier to get you out of my life.
That's a fact. So and you don't have to, once a person shows you who they are, you don't need to repeat it.
Believe them.
And I'm pretty sure in that, in that response that she did, she probably was feeling like, because nobody wants to lose a friend over something stupid.
That's what I was going to say. So perfect example, and this goes to that point for a full circle. Mm-hmm. So last night, a friend of mine hits me. She hits me with a link to something that's beneficial. Mm-hmm. I say, now, okay, let me just say how it happened. She sends me the link for something that's beneficial. I say, I check it out. I'm like, I don't understand what this is. Mm-hmm. I message back, hey, what is this? Mm-hmm. The response was, what? And I was like,
the thing you just sent me,
The thing you just sent me. Right. Like, what is it? And her response was, I'm so tired of niggas asking me stuff and not doing research.
Watch that N-word. Yeah.
And I was like, it was back. I was like, I literally responded. I sent two messages. The first one was like, okay. I was just asking what this was.
And you still didn't know what it was?
No. And I sat there for a second because that was the nice way.
Okay.
And I was like, nah. I don't like that. I don't like that response because I'm someone that always does his research before I respond to anything of asking a question. And everything that you've shown me beneficial in the past, you've given me some insight onto the bigger picture. Mm-hmm. The response to that was, you're absolutely right. My bad. I'm actually getting annoyed with the other people who've been asking me about this.
The deflection.
And that's what happened. And I was like, thank you. Right? Mm-hmm. So to go along with your point, a lot of times we aren't even the people that the person is mad at.
Facts.
I never even felt like, oh man, maybe she is the first girl. Mm-hmm. Maybe she is deflecting and she's mad at somebody else. That wasn't my beef.
Okay.
My beef was, how dare you ever fix your mouth to say this to me, right?
Of all people.
Meaning, if Bentley Kyle Evans, okay, let's say I get into it with somebody, producer or writer or whatever, and I say, I'm mad, and Bentley just reaches out to me, hey man, XYZ, I wouldn't even fix my mouth to let him have any of the anger that I have for anybody else. Because this is a man who's helped change my life.
Exactly. Same thing. Like if Nick Cannon, like it doesn't matter what would be going on in my life.
Right.
If he had my number and used it ever and text me, I would Chip. I mean, hey Nick.
You know how rich Nick
Let's go to a party, man. We all we got.
Nick, we all we got.
Come on, Nick.
Nick is so rich,
man,
that he doesn't have to have your number.
Yeah.
He can literally say, hey, y'all, one of y'all call Doughboy. And they're going to figure it out.
Exactly. But just to the point, like, there's nothing that he could say or do that I would ever. I don't care if he's 110%. I'm just never saying that. You don't do that to people.
Yeah, man. And not to say that I've changed her life like Bentley's changed mine.
Right.
But I have definitely been there when the chips was down.
Absolutely.
And I do that. I think all of my friends can say that I've done that for them. And a piece of it is insurance on my part.
It's a dirty game.
I'm not going to lie about it. You know what I mean?
The chips could always be down.
You never know when the chips going to be down. I need to be like, hey, man.
Right.
Randy's Donuts.
Exactly.
Don't be there.
Exactly. You got to have the people that you can call.
Oh, you got to have the people.
Right. But then at the same time, though,
yeah,
what I would try to say to you is just this. And then you got to just look at it like this. You have to understand that you have a probably higher than most people's level of emotional IQ.
Okay.
And so what I mean is you understand feelings, you understand communication. One thing that I noticed that you're really good at is when you talk to people when you're shooting with them. Like you're very upfront with people. You don't let people give you the shake around because you know how that goes. But what you do need to understand is that everybody's not there. So a lot of times people are trying to figure out their emotions, and sometimes they make little slippy blippies like she did, which that sounds like it was. She probably was having a bad moment. Who knows what was going on at the moment. And sometimes emotionally we just slip, but that's not always an indicator of bad character. If you've had a personal relationship with her for years, this is a first time this has happened. Sometimes they could just be blips on the radar, not a sign of more things to come. Now, if it's something that you kind of feel that this individual has done this before, maybe she's skated on thin ice before, I get it. But if a person just kind of gives you a out of the blue thing, because you never know, you might just hit her up next week, be like, yo, man, I've known you for hell long. You ain't never really talked to me like that. What was you going through that day? And you might be shocked at what they say. That's all I'm saying.
You're absolutely right.
All I'm saying.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but I think you're missing my point.
No, I get it. She's like the audacity,
the
unlitigated gall.
The unmitigated.
How dare you? Do you know who I am in this equation? I get
and
that.
Not saying that I'm above her, but just the situation. It's kind of like you wouldn't talk to certain people any kind of way on your worst day.
True.
And that's what I'm getting at. So it's like one of an argument could be, remember when I was writing, I was trying to come up with the animated joint.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I'm about to do an animated joint. And I need a writer's assistant.
Right.
I reached out to several people.
Right.
And woo, people out there, be prepared, right? Don't ever just say, I'm willing to learn. That's cool sometimes, but depending on the person, they don't want to hear that if they're in a crunch. Right. Sometimes you want to deal with somebody who knows how to do the gig and they don't want to have to teach you while they're doing it.
Right. It takes longer.
It takes way longer.
Oh, yeah.
So I was looking for a writer's assistant and I'm reaching out to several people, and one of the people was like, oh, yeah, I can write. I'm like, great. This is the program that writers write on. Do you have this? No, I write on this. All right. Well, do you know how to write in this? No. Okay. Well, I can't use you for this because, you don't know how to do it. However, I will say, get this program, learn it because it's the industry standard.
Industry standard.
Final Draft is the industry standard when it comes to screen and script writing for entertainment. So the person was using Celtics.
It's called Celtics, but I get you.
Well, either or. Tomato. Because obviously I'm using the industry standard. I don't need the person. So
people will disqualify you from. They will discriminate against you for sending something in on Celtics.
Yeah, because it's not what writers do.
Right.
You're not serious. I had that.
Right.
I had that program.
Industry standard is Final Draft, guys. That's what you need to know.
I had that program in 2008.
Right.
Like I had that program. I thought I was the business.
It's the free thing.
Because it's free. So it's like you talking to somebody who really writes. I think I was talking to Ada. Ada or somebody, and I was like, "Yo, yeah, I'm writing over here. I'm writing this script." And they're like, "Oh, what do you write on?" I'm like, "Oh, you know what I'm saying, Celtics." And they're like, "You should get Final Draft." And I looked up Final Draft. It was like $300, and I was like, at the time, guys, I know you're like, it's only da-da-da-da-da. At the time, it's 2008. It was expensive. So my boy Byron Bowers, who's a huge movie star now, sends me, like, he literally puts it on my computer for me, right, for $40. I'm like, oh, God bless, I'm good lit. Friends. So when you got the industry standard of things, they already under, like, if you say to somebody, hey, what do you write on? And they say Final Draft, they're like, oh, wow.
This guy's serious.
This guy, I don't even have to question it. I'm not even going to ask you to send me samples sometimes because I know you're doing what the industry standard is.
Right.
So anyway, I say all of that to say I had given this friend this opportunity and they weren't prepared for it because they weren't ready.
Right.
Fast forward, oh, you know, I'm getting looked over and ain't nobody looking out for me. And it's like, I don't want to hear that.
Because you didn't do.
Because I tried to look out for you and you weren't industry standard ready. Sometimes it's not about people keeping you down and people not putting you on. Majority of the time it's about you not being fully prepared.
Man, listen, I have a story about that happened last week. So I've been working on some stuff, you know what I'm saying? Just I'm really starting to, like, you know, put, you know, the pedal to the metal, you know what I'm saying, like with the writing stuff, right? Because I have more fun at it, you know what I mean? Like I have two things, but I'll say this one first, and I'll try to speed it up. I know I've been talking a lot.
Hey, it's just that.
It is just that. So basically when damn, why does that keep? That's like the third time this happened.
Somebody gave you an opportunity.
Okay, so yeah, so boom. So one of the people that I'm writing when I'm writing the project.
Wait, what is it with the hood and boom? Like I think everybody creates in their mind this mental script and they add a sound effect.
Absolutely. Like, so like boom, we're starting. Like so it's boom. Action. That's like hitting the play button.
Like, and now I'm magically in this place.
Right. So it's boom. So we've been like, you know what I'm saying? We've been rocking, like, you know what I'm saying, for a long time, working on different things, right? So they get an opportunity recently, like, you know what I'm saying? They meet some people, they're like, yo, you know, what do you got? So they ask them. So I basically let them know, like, look, don't even worry about nothing. I'ma just, for the rest of the week, I'll make sure that we have something. We'll get it there. Totally forgot. Same person that I'm talking to, I had already wrote a pilot for like a year and a half ago. So I was like, oh yeah, what about the one that I was like, let's just take a look at it. We pull it up, we look at it, send it over to the people. They see that we're industry, like all on oh, we love this. Clean up the language, do something. And it plays so much to that point to where if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Like this is something I forgot. I wrote this February 2019, but it was still there. It was still sitting there. So it's like when those opportunities come, you want to be able to have something. Because if I'm a writer and this person's like, this is my right, and I'm sitting there like, I don't have nothing. But then if one day later you get a whole, like, you know what I'm saying? But it's always staying ready. So I just think that that's super important. Just staying ready at whatever it is you do. I think that that's always that's always my quick discriminatory thing. Like if I'm asking somebody if they write, because everybody say they're a writer. They'd be like, yeah, man, I write. I'd be like, oh man, send me over a writing sample.
When you say sample,
what? So you know what I'm saying? If you're serious about it, try to get out there and write something. What do you need to write? Write a spec script. What's a spec script? Get your favorite TV show. Write a script. Write an episode of it. Know the characters. Just have something. So if somebody asks you for something, you got it. And things change when you have stuff like that.
Yeah. Let me ask you this.
What's up?
Do you open your DMs from, like, you know, somebody that is a fan of yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll leave them on unread if I don't know them and I don't feel like saying anything back. Not like on no rude stuff, but you know.
I got a message the other day and I was like, what?
What they say?
He starts, first of all, respect. Respect.
That's the word he uses?
No, respect to what this was. This name, which I was like, what? First of all, when somebody sends me a message, I already look to see if they're following me first to see the level of importance I need to give this.
That's a fact.
If they're following me, and I see it, typically I'm like, all right, let me try to respond as long as it ain't nothing stupid. You know what I'm saying? Or something disrespectful. Because a lot of messages would be stupid. Like messages like it'll just be a video.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, what is this, fam?
You need to do something like this. Man, shut up and get on my DMs.
So the message was like, before you say anything, I tried to send this to Doughboy. He didn't answer his DMs, so I wanted to send it to you. And I checked out after that because I was like,
what'd they say?
I didn't read the rest because I was already turned off by I tried to send this to Doughboy.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
mean,
fam.
you know, like, I mean, every now and again I'll get somebody, like I had somebody reach out to me And they were like, yo, man, I got this idea for you. Because, like, I'm always, like, a fan of doing, like, deep dives of stuff. They're like, what if you, like, went live with the fan? Like, you know, give me this whole idea. I'm like, I like that. He was like, I can research your stuff and send it to you. I'm like,
that's amazing.
Okay, cool. Like, so every now and again, but for the most part, I don't be like, I need assistance. Let me hit my sturdy DMs.
Let me ask you this. With the exception of last week, because I wasn't talking about just this week when I typed that in your YouTube live last night. You are becoming obsessed with going live.
No, I didn't go live at all last week.
I don't even think you heard me set up that question.
Uh-oh.
I said, with the exception of last week.
Oh.
Because when I went into your comments last night on YouTube, I wasn't talking about last week. I was talking about overall. You are obsessed with going live.
Let me tell you what's happened. I'm trying to find my voice for YouTube. How I look at YouTube, because I'm starting to change the algorithm of my career. What I mean by that is everything, I can't do everything. I can't be everything to everything. So I really want to do writing and kind of behind the scenes stuff. But then it's like, okay, I do want to be able to capitalize off my YouTube, my Facebook. When I come to it's like, what do I want to do? I don't want to do everything. Like, I'll be like, do I really want to do sketches? It's like, I mean, I could write some sketches and I let other people be in it, but I don't really feel like starring in sketches. Like, I don't be wanting to do a bunch of podcasts. I have 2 podcasts. Like, I don't, I'm not trying to start another podcast. So I'm just like, I just be looking for different things and doing that on the show, bro. I've come up with new shows. Like, I literally came up with a show called Past the Bar on my show where I'm literally, I don't know if you've watched one, but I'll literally play a beat and I'll literally be like, y'all are about to write a song and we're going to give ourselves a 20-minute time limit. And based on the stuff you guys are saying, I'm going to put it in and I'll write it. And it's like it'd be like 70 of us in there and we're writing a song together. So now I'm like, okay, this is a new piece of content that I can start producing once a week. That's that. Then I had the flow though where I just freestyling. So I'm just trying to find my footing. Sometimes people just love when me and Tony just talk and we just roast each other or talk trash about whatever our day is. So it's just more, it's more what I've learned. I've watched a couple of videos about like trying to find your fan base on YouTube, and it's just like you just have to keep posting. Like so the live stuff is just me finding different live experiences I can give them outside of me just coming and talking about random stuff. That's just a daily podcast. So I'm just like, I was looking for different things to do. So I'm just like, okay, these are different pieces of content that I can start to make. So that's why the week before last week, I was going live all the time. This week I didn't go at all. I went live yesterday. Yeah. Cool. You know what I'm saying?
I think I miss Tangerine and I were doing a podcast on my Patreon. When I began it, we had done several episodes and then we stopped because we got into one big argument. I was like, whoa, okay.
That's silly you.
But I love, the people enjoy when we go live together too. But yeah, it was crazy. You all right?
I
swallowed it wrong.
Okay.
You gotta be careful, man. You're 42. What does that even mean?
And I was like, don't make me laugh because I always be so afraid to choke on stuff. Like if I ever be eating stuff, because that's always a fat man's worst dream. You just don't want to be the fat guy going out on a piece of steak. Like
right.
The irony, like so whenever I'm eating food, and it starts feeling like I'll like get some of my mouth. So
yeah,
and like I always, people always say like they'll like drink some water or something. They'll be like, oh, we're down the wrong pipe too. Yeah, it's only one. People be thinking this too. It's only one.
Well, it's actually 2 places the water can go. So when you drink the water, right?
It's only one.
There are 2 places the water can go. Now, when you're drinking the water, what happens is the water goes down your throat and then
trachea.
Oh boy, if I'm trying to teach you,
I got it.
When you drink the water, a lot of times if you haven't had water, or if you're getting a dry mouth or whatever, and you're drinking the water fast, when you drink it, listen to the description. You drink it, it goes here. As soon as you're drinking it, you close your throat unintentionally. So when you close your throat, that causes even more water to build up. And you're like,
really?
Yes, that's what I was trying to tell you. Why you correcting my terms?
Explain that again. That again. This is
when you're
today years old. The segment.
When you're so next time it happens, like really bad. Next time you drink something, just drink. Like drink right now.
Okay.
Drink, and now it's controlled drinking.
Okay.
So you're drinking it. You're already moisturized. You're liquefied. You're controlling it. Bam. Right? Okay. When you're thirsty and you're drinking in a rush, your body's reacting to the shock. So it's like,
and you're doing so too much is getting there too fast.
Yeah, and your throat will cut it off to process the rest.
To dump it down there, and then it keeps it up there, and then you.
Now,
Who
sometimes
taught you this?
Well, I watch a lot of television. Now, sometimes
that's great.
Sometimes when you cut it off, your throat reacts perfect timing, and you don't choke on any water, or anything else that you're drinking. But a lot of times, that every now occasionally, you be like, because it happens instantly. Your body protects itself.
I just learned that today, and you know what I found out yesterday?
What?
When you're not talking, your tongue rests on the bottom of your mouth, or is it the top? It's the top.
Yeah, it's the top.
But you don't think that it is, right? So just close
when
your
you said it, I was just like, and I moved my tongue to your
I love weird facts. Like I'm like a glutton for like weird facts.
Give me another one.
I don't be having a ton, but I know that works. Okay, things that I know about the body. I know that you can tell a lot about a person. Like you can tell a person all of their health stuff through their feet.
Really?
Everything comes from the feet because it's you're standing up. I forgot what it was, but like they can tell like if you're sit like Asian people. I don't want to say that and make it sound racist. I'm sorry, but like you know, there's like holistic practices. Like they can check your feet. There's like this thing that like you put your feet in some like water, and then like once it does all this thing, like you pull your feet out, then the water's hella dirty. But your feet could be clean, but it's taking out the toxins from your feet because everything goes down to your feet. So yeah, different stuff like that. It's just cool to me, especially like stuff about the body. Like learning recently that your mind, the brain is a very unique instrument, right? So let's just say you go outside and run 100 yards, right? If you run 100 yards, your brain is going to be a certain part of your brain that's going to light up. If you go back outside, if you go right outside to the same spot and close your eyes and imagine yourself running 100 yards, the same spot in your mind lights up. So your brain doesn't know if you're doing it or if you're imagining it. It still processes it the same way.
That's dangerous.
Yeah. And
because how that weight going to come off?
Exactly. You probably just standing outside like, well, I'm still fat, Lord.
My brain is not communicating.
And then another thing is this. Your brain, so if I punch you in your chest right now, your brain will take that as somebody just punched me in the chest. If Tangerine comes down right now, like CT, I'm leaving you, and walks out the door and your heart's broken, it doesn't know the difference. It just knows that it's pain and it's identified in the body. So it doesn't register it that your wife says something to you that hurts your heart. It's just now your heart is physically hurt. They say people can like die from broken hearts.
They can. Oof,
we should have a random fact segment on the show and call it Today Years Old.
That's crazy.
I like it.
I mean, it's up to you.
It.
You the one got to come up with it.
I ain't even been doing these raps. You wasn't gonna say nothing.
So it's like, think about that, and you picture something new. Half the battle sometimes, though, boy, just listening to you.
I got it, but this is the thing.
It's like, okay, he's gonna come up with something. Okay, cool. The Today Years Old. Got it. You write all of them. You be like, all right, cool. Hey man, what's today?
But this is the thing. This is what I'm gonna start doing for the bars, because this is what I've learned. I don't want to put neither one of us through, because this is the thing, I'm a perfectionist. What I loved about doing the bars before was they had it linked in the system, so the beat was there, I wasn't competing, and it sounded good. Ever since we've been here, I'm putting first I did the phone next to it, then I did the speaker. Never sounds good.
The speaker was fire, because you just set it on the table and you just started rapping.
The levels, it still wasn't good for me. So what I'm going to do is, because this week I'm going to learn how to record on my own stuff. I've been putting it off, and I told myself I'm going to do it this week. So what I'll do is I'll write the rap, I'll record it on my own studio, then I'll just send it to you. And then when we sit here, we can listen to it like we did before and then start the show.
Or
I could just rap it.
No, I wasn't gonna do you like that. Or you can just selfie video you rapping in the comfort of your own home, give me the video, and then I'll add it before the show starts.
Let's do that. Because I do want to give you all the bars, but I'm just a perfectionist and I don't want it to be sounding any old type of way because I'm still trying to get signed.
Why are you trying to get signed?
So I can get all the money in the house? I'm playing.
You're not. But here's the thing. It's because we live in this age now where you don't need a record contract. I would think that's actually detrimental to some people.
Counterproductive. No, I don't want a record deal. I just want to start putting out music, man.
We talking about artists who don't have their masters, but they're super famous and they have a quarter of their money. And you want to get into that same cycle.
I really don't. I just think that there's something about it that makes you feel accomplished if you get the record deal that you don't really. It's fool's pride.
You get pushed more, but let me explain the business to you, man. I am an independent artist.
You are?
Right? I own all my masters. And masters being every one of these videos you see, I own them. I can pull them up from hard drives and pull them off the internet if I want. Excuse me, and post them somewhere else. I own them. Nobody's gonna come after me.
It's your IP, intellectual property.
Exactly. Whereas, also the piece of that. So now this is all you really need. So you look at the conglomerate that you were a part of, that you kind of get sad about when you're like, man, I did a video that did 20 million and I post one of my music videos and it don't do those numbers. It's because it's not part of that conglomerate and the posting. So all you had to do was show up as this artist. Here, they take care of the rest. When you work for yourself, you got to take care of all of that.
This is a perfect analogy.
So when you look at what it's going to take for something to succeed, one is the people to rock with it and share it. Like when we tell y'all to share this, when we tell y'all to like the video, there's a reason. So don't just be watching this and not like it and sharing it. Hit that share, hit that like. I know you know at least one person that can share this, that you can share this to, whatever. Now, you post your video. The thing that you would want to do outside of that, beyond boosting a post, is, hey, let me see if I can get into a group of other video creators that we can share each other's stuff. Like, this is stuff that we did with IG as we were starting it, bro. And we came in after King Batch, and we came in after Simone and all these other people who were posting, and Brittany Furlands. We came in after that.
Right.
Jahan brought us in, and it was like, yo, we got to find our way. How do we make these videos pop? And it was the thing where we was like, all right, bet. The fake Tyree, myself, Big Ja, we were all had these videos that we would do, and the people who were in the video, we will all post them or repost them on different days.
And you guys would put each other in each other's videos, tag each other.
Exactly. So then you go to YouTube. YouTube, I specifically reached out to Ken Edwin. Ken Edwin TV, the app. Get the app. It's phenomenal.
Shout out to Ken
love
Edwin.
watching this content. One of my great friends. I love that guy. Anyway, I hit Ken. I was like, hey, man, we're around the same number of followers at the time. Would you be interested in both of us sharing each other's stuff? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So I would share a video of his on my YouTube and Facebook. He would do the same for me. And then both of our audiences would be cross-pollinated.
Cross-promotion, right.
And then it's like, bam, right? So now you look at something that now you have a support system.
Right.
So imagine if you had 10 people and everybody's doing that for each other. Doesn't matter how many followers you got. It could be 100, it could be 100,000, it could be whatever. And all of y'all are doing this. Everybody's going to see it. That takes care of your publicity. Unless you don't want to do the group thing. You just like, man, I just rather do my stuff and hire a publicist, and they show it to whoever they need to show it for. And maybe I start getting brand deals or deals where people can push my stuff for me.
Right. And so you guys basically essentially did the digital out the trunk hustle.
Yes.
That the rappers did in the late 80s
and it
90s.
Still works. It's like right now, if me, Ken, and you know, all of us have audiences, but your audience could always be bigger. Please subscribe to the Patreon.
Come on now.
So it's like if you continue to do that with different artists, it would go even higher and higher. So imagine if you wrote 5 songs and you get a group of other rappers that are on SoundCloud, or better for you not to cloud it with rappers, get with some R&B artists or some country artists, and then not only do y'all collab, but y'all share each other's stuff. Where you would be in a year.
And that's really what I'm on too, man. I also wanted to share this too, man, because I want people to know too, it's like sometimes you can get the things you want if you do the things that maybe you don't necessarily want to do. So what I mean by that is like how I've been saying, like, yeah, you know, these last couple of months or whatever, I've just been really focusing on writing projects, and that's just kind of like the biggest thing. But there is still a part of me that be like, man, I'd love to start something
on camera,
right? And so one of my partners hit me. He's a producer out here, and so he, like, you know, he's been doing this thing for years, and he's just, you know, been working on different stuff, and you know, far more established than me. And so he had a show that he was putting together, and like it's a TV show, and so like he hit me up, and he was just like, hey man, he sent me like the scripts, and so I'm thinking, you know, he's sending it to me just to check it out, or just maybe, you know, punch up some scripts, whatever. So and it's really good. But I'm like, yo, this is fire. You gonna do something with this? He was like, yeah, man, I need you for the lead of that. I'm like, wait, me? Like, and so I just say that because I never really put that out there like that. It's something I do want, but it's like I never really was like, because I'm trying to lock down other things. But for somebody to finally come to me and be like, no, I want you to pull up and act. I'm like, because I don't ever even look at myself like that. I do stuff a lot of times, and I'll put myself in stuff, but it's like, I don't know if I'd necessarily be believing myself like that. But for somebody else to be watching and I've known bruh for like 6-7 years. So for 6-7 years, him to just pop and just be like, bro, I need you for this.
Is it Triune?
No, not Triune.
Cool.
No, Triune's not. Triune's a rapper. You gotta be Triune, man. He's a great guy. But man. And so, but no, it's one of my partners, man. And I'm just I just say that to all the aspiring artists out there that are doing their thing. Like, it's gonna happen. Like, that's the thing that I'm starting to know now. Like, everything that I want, everything I dreamed about, I'm gonna have it. It's just I just gotta just be cool, stay out the way, stay humble, stay down, but
stay out of people's cars.
You can get that, you know. What if I would have went to jail? What if I would have showed up for the podcast there and you would have had no idea? That would have been an even more crazy story.
It wouldn't have, because she definitely would have been gone and she wouldn't have told me what happened. I'd be like, hey, where's Doughboy? The number you've called is no longer. Man, what's up with Doughboy? I got that call. Hey, man, I ain't going to make it tonight or the next 10 years worth of nights. What? Yes,
put some money on my book split, but maybe we could do this. We can do a Zoom from the pokey.
From the big house. You definitely don't want to go in there called the pokey boy.
Yo, this has been another fire episode, man. What I love about this just be good conversations, man. Like, just so a lot of y'all know, like, we be putting the dockets together, and, you know, we just be saying, bro, we just keep those for if our conversation ever stalls and there's something out. But I just genuinely appreciate the conversations, man, the brotherhood.
It's great.
And, what we doing, man? What you got going? Plug your shows and stuff that you got going coming up.
Oh, yeah, man. So this airs to the Patreon audience tonight. But Wednesday, so Friday, I'll be in Dallas with the Lit AF tour. Saturday, I'll be in Houston with the Lit AF tour. Sunday, the From What I Could Ascertain tour in Chicago at Riddles. If you have not gotten your tickets, get them. We got a couple seats left. It'd be an honor to meet you. 2 shows.
Come on.
Early show, late show. And then day before Thanksgiving in Baltimore, shorty. I'm in the Baltimore Comedy Factory. It's going to be fire. I'm super excited, man, to bring in the holiday with Team CT in Baltimore. And and that'll do it for me. Hopefully for the year, because it's a lot of traveling back to back.
Yeah, that's a lot, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But have fun with it. Me, I'll just be chilling. I'll be holding it down in the States while you out doing your... Well, I guess you're still in the States.
In the States?
I'll still be here holding it down, man. But y'all can check me on my YouTube. I'll be going live. I'll be doing my thing. And I always post when I got shows. So just check me out. Nothing on the books right now, but they coming.
Boy, you got in the car.
I got in the car. You wouldn't have got in the car?
Also, I'm going to have to see this girl offline. I need you to pull the page up.
I'll pull it
immediately. And let me tell you something. If you pull the page up.
I didn't even swap and get her IG or nothing.
But I know you know it. If you show me this page, I'm impressed, I will tell the people next week, he got in the car.
He got in the car. See why I got the car. Sometimes you got it. No risk it, no biscuit.
No risk it, no biscuit.